Have you ever wondered why some people keep making the same money mistakes, even when they work hard and really try to save? Here's a thought worth sitting with. Most of us think the problem is just not having enough money. But there's a verse in the Bible that suggests the real issue might be something deeper than that. And I want to share it with you, not as a final answer, but as something worth thinking about. It's Romans 12, verse 2. It says, "Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, so that you may test and approve what God's will is, His good, pleasing, and perfect will." Now stay with me here, because this isn't just a spiritual line. Some people believe this single verse points to a way of thinking that could help break money habits that keep so many of us stuck year after year. Let's talk about what that might look like. Most of us try to fix our money problems by fixing the money. We make a new budget. We download an app. We promise ourselves this month will be different. And sometimes it works for a little while. But then old patterns creep back in. Buying something we didn't plan for. Spending because we're stressed or bored or sad. Not really having a plan at all. Letting things go to waste. Living right up to the edge of what we make every single time. Here's a perspective worth considering. Maybe those habits aren't really about the money itself. Maybe they come from patterns in how we think, patterns we repeat without even noticing. And that lines up with something a lot of people believe about how change happens from a faith point of view. Before things on the outside change, something on the inside often has to shift first. The way we think tends to shape the way we act. Let's slow down and look at this verse piece by piece, just to see what it might be pointing to. The first part says, "Don't be shaped by the pattern of this world." Think about what the world around us tends to push. Buy this to look successful. Spend this to finally feel happy. Get it now, even if you don't really need it. Live a certain way so people are impressed. Chase that quick feeling of satisfaction. If we're honest, a lot of our money habits might come from soaking in that message for years without realizing it. Now the second part says, "Be transformed by renewing your mind." Some people read this as a call to slow down before spending, to build self-control, little by little, to value patience over impulse, to make choices on purpose instead of on autopilot. From this angle, real change with money might not start with a new spreadsheet. It might start with a new way of thinking. Nobody wakes up one day suddenly bad with money. It's usually not one big decision. It's a bunch of small ones, stacked on top of each other over time. A small purchase here. A little excuse there, like, "I'll start saving next month." A bit of waste that doesn't seem like a big deal in the moment. A small bit of borrowed money that quietly grows. None of these little choices feel huge on their own. But over months and years, they can quietly turn into a whole way of living. And that's kind of the point some people make when they talk about this verse. Change usually isn't one dramatic moment. It's a lot of small decisions, repeated, that slowly build something new. So how could someone actually put this into practice? Here are a few ideas some people find helpful, again, just as things to consider, not rules carved in stone. Before any bigger purchase, try asking yourself one simple question. Do I actually need this, or do I just want it right now? Try building in a pause. Instead of buying something the second you see it, give it a day or two. A lot of the time, that little bit of space changes how you feel about it. Try trading quick spending for a bit of planning. Even just thinking ahead a little can change how a week or a month goes. Try trading comparison for gratitude. It's easy to look at what other people have and feel like you're behind. But that feeling can quietly drive a lot of spending that isn't really about need at all. And try managing what you already have first, before chasing more. Sometimes we think the answer is simply making more money, when the real shift is learning to handle what's already in our hands. None of this happens overnight. The idea some people point to in this verse is that a renewed way of thinking comes from repeating these small choices, over and over, day after day. If someone starts practicing this over time, here's what a lot of people say they notice. They start noticing the urge to buy something without acting on it right away. They spend with a bit more thought behind it. Saving starts to feel less forced and more natural. Waste tends to go down. A little more structure starts to show up in how they handle money. And for a lot of people, There's simply less worry about money running through their head all day. It's worth pointing out, this isn't a promise that more money will suddenly show up. The idea some people take from this is more about wisdom than income. It's less about the amount coming in, and more about how thoughtfully it's being handled. Let's go back to where we started, Romans 12:2. Don't be shaped by the pattern of this world, but be transformed by renewing your mind. One way to look at this verse is that it's not really about the number in your bank account going up. It might be more about how a person handles whatever they've already been given. And if that's true, then habits don't usually change overnight. They tend to shift when the thinking behind them shifts first. A renewed way of thinking tends to lead to slightly different choices, made a little differently, day after day. Small, steady changes, kept up over time, can add up to something a lot bigger than we'd expect. So here's something to sit with before you go. What's one money habit in your life that could use a little renewing right now? Drop a single word in the comments that captures what you want to work on. Maybe it's wisdom. Maybe it's discipline. Maybe it's simply change. I'd love to see what you write. And if this kind of perspective is helpful to you, consider subscribing. We'll keep exploring ideas like this one, simple, practical ways that a faith-based perspective might help with building a wiser, steadier financial life.